Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I am really late to report this, but we are here. Welcome, everybody. I'm learning as the news is developing regarding this situation. Now, some of you guys may be familiar with Savannah. I think her name is Savannah Guthries. Hopefully you guys correct me in the chat. I'm pretty sure. I know she goes by Savannah Clark Guthries, and she is a Today co-anchor. Well, her mom, who's from Arizona, her name is Nancy, is missing, and they held a press conference just maybe a couple minutes ago and whatnot. So I'm very much late on reporting this. So we gonna work backwards. Shout out to Shrinking Sharon, who gave me the heads up on it. While I was at the store, she texted me. So I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? Shout out to Shrinking Sharon, our channel supporter. Shout out to her. Guys, another thing, side note, it is Chico's birthday. Happy birthday to Chico. Make sure you guys are putting hearts and cakes and everything for our mod and supporter, Chico. Thank you. Praying for her safe support. Yeah. So let's get into this press conference, guys. And because I'm really late. And so this will help answer some of those questions that some of us don't really have quite yet. This is out of Arizona. Let's go.
Investigation into Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy.
1 second. Let me go back.
Arizona are giving an update on the investigation into Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy. Nancy is missing. Police say Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night before disappearing from her home in Tucson. The sheriff says they had concerns about the home. They are treating the home as a crime scene. Today, officials are expected to stress a few major points. One, Nancy does not suffer from dementia or have cognitive decline. Two, she is in critical need of her daily medication. Let's listen in.
Guthrie residents that Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was missing. We expended a lot of resources for a missing person that we typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Borstar from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. I'm sorry, all day yesterday and all last night. To no avail. As I said yesterday, we saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime, and we're asking the community's help. This community has always stepped up to help us solve some pretty tough crimes. I'm looking for that again. This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal. So we make a plea to anyone who knows anything about this, who has seen something, heard something, to contact us. Call 911. We don't need another bad tragic ending. We need some help. Our team is the best. I couldn't speak any higher. I think you know that. We have done some great work with our partners in the Valley. You know, this community, I have to give a lot of thanks to our law enforcement agencies all across this valley, whether it's the Tucson Police Department or some of the smaller agencies. They've all reached out. They've all offered to assist. The FBI, all of them. We work so close with them, and they are all plugged in. We'll continue to work closely with them. But what I really need is I need this community to step up and start giving us some calls. Let us know if you've seen something. We are right now at a time, and I apologize, I That tells me I talk too softly. We are at a time where, in this investigation, we're now moving forward where we need to depend on technology. Our license plate readers, our camera systems throughout the community, anything, everything. And we will download all that data we have from the home, from different pieces of technology we've gotten, and we will use that to our advantage. But the reason I bring this up is that, I'm a cop. I hate politics, but I have to remind our political leaders that they need to quit this banter of every time law enforcement leaders come to you for a need, that you give up these ridiculous remarks about how it's going to be misused. AI is a bad, evil word. The cameras are very bad and evil. I'm tired of that. Those tools in the right hands, with the right minds and the right approaches, are extremely valuable to solving crimes just like this. We need that. We need more staff, and we need a lot of things. But what I really need is I need the community's help with this. So I want to make sure before I take any questions, it is a crime scene. We know that. She needs her daily medication. And anybody that sees anything that even looks, hey, maybe that's her, just take a quick picture, and take a video, send it to us. The number is real easy here locally. It's 911. You can contact our 88 crime and remain anonymous. You can call me, anybody. I am here to take any questions you may have.
So just so people that are coming through, this is Nancy Guthrie's, Savannah Guthrie's mother. Savannah Guthrie, for those that don't know, is the co-anchor of the Today Show. She's done some other programs as well. She's pretty well known. For those that don't, I feel like we've all seen her one way or another. This is what the lady looks like. Her mom is missing. Okay. And they went into the home, and it's looking like it's a crime scene situation. They haven't been able to find her. She has to take medication that basically within a time frame. Otherwise, it's fatal if she doesn't take this medication. Just so people are aware, Savannah is a co-host. She's a journalist. She's done various programs and whatnot. So her mother apparently is missing, and it's being treated as a crime scene and whatnot. The sheriff is pretty soft-spoken, I will say that. He's a little soft-spoken, but he's given us as many details as he can.
It will be a little limited. I apologize for that, but we do have a crime that we need to protect its integrity. I have here Sergeant David Stivers from our homicide team. He has been up all night, so bear with us if we are a little bit fuzzy in our answers and responses, but we're both here for any questions you may have. Let's start, please.
Recognizing your limitations, but can you elaborate at all on what makes you believe it's a crime scene as opposed to someone who left home and just couldn't find their way back?
Well, I think I told you she is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was she did not leave on her own. We know that.
If you don't have plate readers, is there a vehicle associated with this?
When I told you we're now at this phase where we're looking at all the technology, all of that is being evaluated as we speak. Let me say this: we've not just thrown our search and rescue team out there. They're going to be doing some door-to-door with our criminal investigation team. It is not just our homicide unit. All of our criminal investigation detectives. I went out last night to the scene. There were probably 100 cars out there, all from the sheriff's department, all working this case. It takes a lot of manpower and a lot of energy. This team of mine worked throughout the night. They continue to work. David's had zero sleep, but he and his team are working as hard as they can.
Is there anybody else associated with her, a caregiver, a family member, acquaintance, who is also missing and some of your.
No. The family, all of the family has been very cooperative with us. They're working with us. They're staying in touch with us. They have complete access to anybody on this department. Savannah has been in touch with us as well. Our hearts go out to them. This is their mom. She's just a great lady, from what I've heard, and I feel for the family. We just want to find her and bring her back safe.
Sheriff, you mentioned that she didn't just walk out, but is there any additional information that you can give us on what may have alluded to this being a crime scene?
I wish I could. I really do. I know that everybody wants to know certain things, but I can't do that it would be inappropriate at this time.
Are there any signs of breaking and entering or any forced entry, anything like that?
I again don't want to get into that. David, can you see anything here?
He doesn't want to get into stuff. Okay, so this is a fantastic question. With mobility that's limited, how was she left alone? Was she alone? There's no one else missing, right? With the limit in her mobility, I think that's a fantastic question, right? Because I don't know what that looks like, right? Could she open the door for herself? Could she tend to herself? Does she need help in the shower, in the bathroom? Like, these kinds of things kind of come to my head, right? I don't know what that means. So there's a lot of questions as it pertains to that. Yes, and by the way, side note, also happy birthday to Christy B, one of our longtime subscribers and supporters. Shout out to you, Christy B. You and Chico share the same birthday. Shout out to you guys. You said, I would like to know when they discovered she's missing, Saturday night or today, knowing the last time she was heard from was Saturday night. Right. And the one, shout out to you. I haven't seen you in a minute. So I'm thinking too, like, if she's having to take medication that is like life altering, like if you don't take it, it can affect your life, who is in charge of that? Especially with, limited mobility, because somebody would, sometimes, like, here's Andrew. Shout out to Andrew. Limited mobility does not mean you cannot be left alone for a few hours or at a time. You could still somehow, maybe somebody comes and visits you or checks in on you. Maybe there's a nurse or something like that. But I do kind of wonder, what does this look like? What they're saying is that it's a crime scene at this point. Okay. So people are aware.
At this time, it's still a very active investigation. There were circumstances on scene that we believe are suspicious in nature, I think is the best way to put it. But we can't really get into a whole lot of details with that.
Do you believe that this was targeted, or they just happened to hit Savannah Guthrie's mom, or if this was just random?
Ooh.
We don't know that. We look at all of that, but we just don't know that.
Do they have cameras at the home?
They do, and we're looking through some of that. Yeah.
With this being an active crime scene, is there any threat to the general public?
Trying to figure out my phone. Well, no, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because, we're going to canvass that neighborhood, and maybe there's a prowler been seen around. There's a lot of work still to do. We don't have any indication that that the public is in danger.
And what does that search look like today beyond what you've already told us about last night?
So we have shut down our search and rescue mission, and we've sent them home to rest. They were out all night. Look, we put all our air assets into this, our drone systems, our aircraft, our helicopters, heat sensors, infrared, everything we've thrown at this. They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to do more searching. But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Sheriff, can you tell us a little bit about that map?
Ooh. We don't see this as a search mission as much as we see this as a crime scene. Let me go back a little bit because I think he just told on himself on something right here. Hold up. And Mama Yoli here says, I'm considered mobility limited. I use a cane and some days a walker. I can do most things. Okay, so you can answer the door and whatnot. You can maybe close the door, take medication, and do all those kinds of things. What does that mean that he just said? Let me play that little part again. I think, listen.
Sensors, infrared, everything we've had, we've thrown at this. They're going to step aside. We'll call them out again if we need to do more searching. But right now, we don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Sheriff,
We don't see this as a search mission, even though it says missing person vulnerable, as much as a crime scene. He just slipped there. Yeah, he did. He did. He just slipped there. He just told us probably what he didn't want to tell us right away, though. Where is she at? That's the question.
Can you tell us a little bit about that map?
That is, and David probably can better answer it than I, but that is our search patterns, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with all the assets that we deployed yesterday with the search and rescue teams, the map that's on the screen is basically tracks that were followed. Those are all, the colored lines are all ground tracks of different teams and different assets that were used on the ground, to include the canines, the volunteers, and our own search and rescue team. The circles are going to be representative, if not necessarily perfect, of our air circulation with both our helicopter and our fixed wing aircraft at night, working with the night time cameras. So difficult to see where the house is. This house is basically pretty close to center in that, and then all of the searching that went on throughout the day with those folks out there on the ground.
What this really helps with is our search teams, when they come back and reassess, maybe they've missed an area, we can look at it and say, hey, you know what, this area could use a little more coverage, and so they concentrate again. Our search and rescue team is top notch. They're out every single day. If it's not a lost person, it's a hiker, it's somebody who's wandered away from a care home, whatever it may be. I want to stress to you, right, and it is really important, Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind.
Okay.
So this is not a dementia related. She is.
So she just answered your question right here. I know you don't want to speculate, but dementia is not the issue here. He actually said that earlier too. So dementia is definitely not the issue here. Sounds like they have been searching for quite some time, and they went all over. I mean, that's a couple hours of searching before they went public with the news. So they wanted to be able to find her before they had to go public, right? Given who her daughter is and everything. You said, I understand that to mean that they're investigating for evidence of a crime, but that's not the same as saying that they have evidence of a crime yet. That's a good point. Suspicion is just a start, right? It's interesting. Maybe it's a recovery situation. You said, I was watching CNN when I thought to check here. No. Oh my God. Really clearly, Shelly. Okay, guys, notifications aren't going out. Hit the like button, because that does kind of help. Put us out there, support the channel, and do all those good things. I'm not surprised that no notifications are out.
As sharp as a tack. The family wants everybody to know this isn't somebody who just wandered off. Her physical limits are based on just age, and we get old, and so it's more physical. But clearly, she is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
But do you have it, or do you not?
We do have it.
Can you give us a little bit more of a timeline? Because you said she didn't leave on her own. That she was last seen at 9:45. She wasn't reported missing until noon. But
I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, hey, your mom's not here. The family went to the house. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called 911.
do you have any idea what time Nancy would have been taken from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I just can't say that right now.
Okay.
Has Savannah Guthrie
So they said am I understanding this correctly? They dropped her off on Saturday, and then she didn't show up for church, and that's when they reported her missing. Okay, sometime Sunday afternoon or something to that effect. They dropped her off. Did they walk into the home with her? Did they, who is there? I'm assuming is her children. You said that they found things in the home that were worrying. Oh, this is so sad. Um, Let me see what else you guys are saying. Other FCC have also been saying massive log with notifications. Really? I know it's just notifications suck. But anyways, let's keep going.
She had any threats to herself?
We've spoken to her. We'll continue to work with that. She has a security team that's been in touch with us throughout the night. But we're not going to dismiss any angles for sure. But right now, immediately, we don't know of anything like that.
That's right,
Becky.
Becky.
On the way here.
She's here.
Can you give us any more? What should somebody be looking for? Because when I was out in the neighborhood, the neighbors are obviously incredibly concerned. But is there anything, a tip? I mean, one neighbor stopped me and he didn't know if he should call you or not. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
But so what should somebody be looking for?
Well, first of all, I'd ask them, go through their cameras. Go through their Ring cameras, whatever cameras they may have. Don't dismiss it that, oh, well, we really can't see the house. They still might see something. Maybe it's somebody walking by. Maybe it's a vehicle driving by at that time of day. But go through all your cameras in that neighborhood and tell us if you see something. Maybe somebody already, we know this happens, right? Oh, I saw something suspicious, but I didn't think it was worth calling in, so I didn't call it in. Well, now it's call in anything you've seen or heard. Maybe it's a neighbor telling you, I saw this or I heard that. Call us. Don't tell the neighbor to call us. Tell the neighbor to call us, but you call us as well. We'll put it together. We'll get, trust me, I'm sure we're going to get inundated with a lot of calls. We'll handle that.
Did she live alone?
I believe, yes, she did. Yeah.
Could she have been a target?
Caregivers you're normally associated with her?
Well, she has house staff that comes by, takes care of the yard, whatever, in her house and that. But those people we'll be talking with that have talked to some of them already.
But nobody who's like a live-in or anything.
Nobody actually lives with her, no. Like I say, she's a great sound mind and she is mobile. It's just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself. So,
Okay. Limited mobility, can't walk 50 yards. She has a sound mind. She does take medication and stuff like that, just so people are aware. She has people that work around the house and the property and stuff like that, but more than 50 yards, she can't walk. Okay, like that would be too much. So if she's not in the property, somebody might have taken her and whatnot. You said, my God, Paige, how are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. If it isn't a threat to the community, how would it not be targeted? Paige, this is how this gets handled a lot. And I want you to think about the Nick Reiner situation when they kind of had an idea of who and what committed that crime. They didn't really want to put that out there, but they kind of knew what was going on. She wasn't hiking. Does she drive would be a great question to ask. That's a great question to ask. I do wonder. Does she wear glasses? Her pictures don't show that, but we don't know, right? Okay.
Somebody asked about the FBI.
I'm sorry.
Somebody asked about the FBI if they're involved.
We, like I said, we work closely with all of our partners, whether they're the FBI, ATF, ICE, whoever. We know that they have certain capabilities and certain resources, just as we have certain capabilities and resources. So yes, we'll continue to work with them, and they've offered assistance to us. We accept that assistance, and we offer assistance. But just last week, the FBI called us to handle a shooting that involved Border Patrol.
That's a great question. Did they say how she normally gets to church? I don't think that they even said that. It sounded like they expected her to show up to church. So does she drive to church or do they drive her to church? That's a great question. Becky, shout out to you. I don't think they said exactly how that, did anybody catch that? Because they were expecting her to be at church, but they didn't see her there. And that's what led them to call. And so then they went to the home and they didn't see her there and everything. That's when they led to the missing person report, right? Yes, that's right, Sharon. There's a lot of things that they're probably not saying for security reasons. 1000% agree. Did they say that she didn't drive though? You said they said they dropped her off Saturday. So I heard that they dropped her off Saturday. She was supposed to show up to church on Sunday. They didn't mention if someone picks her up for church. I didn't hear that at all. So that's a great question.
You need to know that. That's just day-to-day routine work for the law enforcement in Pima County in Tucson. We work very closely with our partners.
With the amount of time that's gone by, how wide do you cast in the net? Statewide, national?
Well, yes, national for sure. I'm hoping the national media's picked up on this. We've gotten a lot of reports, but statewide as well, with Amber Alerts, things like that. All of those things we'll use. Every tool we have, we will use.
Okay. And shout out to Shrinking Sharon, who sent me a message. She's actually the one that gave me the heads up about this. She said that on the last report, she definitely wears glasses. And the report that came right before the press conference this morning on her channel, the NBC morning show. Shrinking Sharon, it's not letting you type. Let me know. I don't think you're blocked. It should let you type. I know YouTube is acting a little wonky. And there's been people that have not been able to type that have emailed me, and I got to figure it out what's going on. So we have to find out if it's a channel situation. She does wear glasses. I also checked out the NBC report that happened this morning before the press conference. Thank you, Shrinking. Shout out to Shrinking Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. You said, I read that she couldn't walk more than 50 yards. Yeah, mind y'all, he just said this in the press conference. She used a cane. She also apparently had house staff, but maybe they weren't there Sunday. Did they take the day off? That's a great question. And whatnot. Okay, let me keep playing this.
You guys are too easy. Thank you so much. I apologize for being late. I apologize for my political rhetoric of the Board of Supervisors or the City Council. I just get so frustrated and we just can't do this job without their support. We don't need political statements from the dais and mumbo jumbo. We need them to listen to their law enforcement leaders. And
okay,
really
we have been getting an update here from the sheriff of Pima County on
You just cut him off.
disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie,
Just
of
cut him
course,
off.
the mother of our friend and colleague, Savannah Guthrie. The sheriff there giving us a few new details about this particular case, saying fairly emphatically, we have a crime. We have a crime scene.
Yes.
I'm also pleading with that community there in Tucson, Arizona for help, asking for everyone to look at the cameras at their homes, Ring cameras, any cameras. The sheriff also letting us know that they do have Nancy Guthrie's cell phone as well.
Okay.
And adding that she is of great sound mind.
we need her back.
This is not a dementia case. They do not believe that she left that home on her own, and also stressing that she needs daily medication. And if she does not get that medication in 24 hours, the results could be fatal. Again, a news conference there. But the headline, we need some help. That coming from the sheriff. We need some help.
Okay.
Joining us now on the phone, our national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent, Tom Winter.
We do have that report queued up already. Thank you, Shrinking Sharon. So Shrinking Sharon said that this specific report gives more information. Let's get into this right now.
And we want to get right to what is a deeply personal story for us. Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's beloved mother, has been reported missing in Arizona.
Nancy, who is 84, was last seen Saturday night and reported missing on Sunday by family members.
Savannah saying in a statement, on behalf of our family, I want to thank everyone for the thoughts, prayers, and messages of support. Right now, our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom. We thank law enforcement for their hard work on this case and encourage anyone with information to contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4666. 4900.
In a news conference late last night, the Pima County Sheriff said multiple teams responded to the scene.
So they had a press conference last night. I thought this was the first one. This is interesting. So this was right because she was reported missing and they had that whole little like map and everything. The question that remains unanswered, and we'll go back to the press conference to get a better idea, is how did she get to the church? Did somebody drive her? Was somebody kind of going back and forth and whatnot? You said as bad as this is to say, I hope it was someone she did not know rather than a member of her family or support service staff who took her. Right, Andrew? I don't think it's, I think a lot of us are probably thinking different things and whatnot because it doesn't make sense, especially if they're describing her as somebody who's like sharp. She knows what's going on. It's not somebody with dementia. She understands. She's able to at least walk a certain, she might have left with somebody that she knew or trusted. We don't know. I mean, that could very well be the case.
This is very concerning to us. You don't typically get the sheriff out at a scene like this, but it's very concerning what we're learning from the house.
The sheriff adding that Nancy Guthrie has no signs of cognitive issues.
She's has no cognitive issues at all. She's very alert, very of good sound mind. Just some physical, 84 years old.
NBC's Tom Winter covers crime and security. Tom joins us now with the latest. Tom, good morning. The sheriff said that what they found especially concerning was the scene at the house. What's the significance of that?
That's right, Craig. And obviously our thoughts and prayers are out with our colleague Savannah this morning. People go missing all the time in this country, and it can be a frustrating process for families as they ask law enforcement to look and intervene. One of the things that police do first is they go to somebody's house in a case like this. And according to what the sheriff said last night in Pima County, what they uncovered was a scene that was, quote, very concerning to them. Later used the phrase grave concern at the press conference last night. So it was the evidence that they found at Nancy Guthrie's house. She's 84 years old, that they found there that led them to this point where they thought that this is something that required their urgent attention. They were able to get out helicopters last night to use infrared cameras. They've got drones up. They've enlisted the help of the Customs and Border Protection, obviously not too far from the border there in Mexico. They have some special resources. The FBI is also aware of this case as well. Just given the nature of what they found at the scene, that's what's got them so concerned. We're withholding some details as we would do with any investigation to make sure that the investigation can go forward without us interfering in it.
And Tom, we think it's important to note once again, the sheriff also mentioned that she has no cognitive issues. I mean, she has some physical ailments that impact her movement, but what might that tell investigators?
Well, that's exactly right. And I think anytime we talk about somebody who's in their 80s or older, we think about those cognitive issues. People can get confused. There can be mental health ailments as people get older. All of us have dealt with that in our lives with family members. And so you think about that, whether somebody got lost, whether they left their house and didn't quite know where they were going. That's not the case here, using the phrase very alert, very sound mind in the course of that press conference last night. And so this is somebody who they don't have those concerns about. There are some physical health concerns here as well. And I think that's another reason why investigators are focused on this. This is not somebody who would have perhaps the physical means to go very far from their house. They have not.
Somebody would have had to have taken her, guys. I mean, literally, and it was probably somebody that she knew or was familiar with. That's what it's given to me. It sounds like she was living by herself, but there was house staff that would come and help her.
Found this person in the course of the search and rescue. And at this point, they don't think that Savannah's mom had any sort of mental issues that would have led to her leaving her home.
Tom, what kind of questions and avenues will investigators explore moving forward now?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a two-pronged approach today. First is the search and rescue. I mean, we certainly hope, and obviously their hope is that they find Nancy okay, that she's going to be all right, and they're able to take care of her. And so that's the first thing, is the search and rescue component of that. Because of the foothills and the nature of Tucson, it's one of the things the sheriff talked about last night. They have a lot of experience doing these search and rescue missions. They have a volunteer search and rescue operation that's engaged with this as well. So that's the first concern. Can we find Nancy and find out where she is? The second concern is going to be what they found at the house and the evidence that they found there. And that's something that they're hoping can help give them some clues as to what might actually have happened.
What did they find there? That's the question. That's probably my biggest, like, what did they find there that, or like, did she leave with her walker? Did she have a walker? Did she leave with her walker? Um, did she leave with her purse? Sounds like police have the phone. Maybe she left without a phone.
Which of course could eventually lead them to Nancy. So that's going to be the second component of this investigation. I think that's why they're asking for the public's help. You know, we've seen in every major case, every time I've been on talking with you this year about some sort of whether authorities were trying to look for somebody, looking for clues, they rely on people to reach out with the videos that they have at their homes. Certainly, I'm sure they're looking for that video, but they want people to, in the Tucson area, to call in those tips, or if they have any video of anything suspicious in the area where Savannah's mom is located, that's something they're going to look for as well. Video is going to be critical. Is there a car? Are there individuals? Anybody suspicious? Anything out of the ordinary that they can use to start to track if there was anybody leaving that area, anybody leaving the scene, or where she may have gone. That would be hugely helpful as well. I mean, do they see her walking down the street, walking in somebody's backyard? All that would be so helpful.
All right, Tom, thank you. And again, to Tom's point, anyone with information is asked to call the Pima County Sheriff's Department, 520-351-4900. You can also use
hold up, let me play
the
this.
website 88crime.org, or you can call that number as well. That number's on your screen, 520-882-7463. And of course, we will be keeping you updated throughout the morning.
Sending our love, my friend.
So let me stop right here. Gloria says they said that she was dropped off at 9:45 p.m. Saturday, right? I'm wondering, did they come into the house with her, or did they just leave her there? That's the question that I had too. Also, please note, like, I'm looking, I went and I pulled the transcript real quick on the press conference, right? Just so we can get a good timeline. Yeah, 9:45 actually. Hold up. Let's go back a little bit right over here. Do you have a cell phone and does that prevent tracking potential? We're looking as we speak, but do you have it or do you not? We do have it, says the officer. Okay. The way they're answering these questions, let me go back a little bit.
Just age and, we get old and so it's more physical, but clearly she is as sharp as a tack.
Do you have her cell phone, and does that present any tracking potential?
We're looking at that as we speak.
But do you have it or do you not?
We do have it.
Okay.
Can you give us a little bit more of a
So she didn't take her cell phone. They have it. Okay. He says, we're looking at that as we speak. If she doesn't have her cell phone, how can they track her? I don't know, but maybe she left her cell phone behind, and that's what he means by we have it.
timeline? Because you said she didn't leave on her own. That she was last seen at 9:45. She wasn't reported missing until noon. But
I believe what happened there was at 9:45 in the evening, her children left her off. At some time earlier that morning, they got a call from somebody at the church who said, "Hey, your mom's not here."
Sunday morning, she gets dropped off at 9:45 p.m. Sunday morning. Somebody from the church calls one of the children and says, "Hey, your mom's not here." Okay, so did somebody go into the house? Who knows? We don't know, right? There's a time gap of what happened, right, between that time to the morning time when somebody noticed that she was gone. And it's the interesting part is, had somebody not called from the church, they probably wouldn't even have known that she was gone.
The family went to the house. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing maybe they got there around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called 911.
do you have any idea what time Nancy would have been taken from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I just can't say that right now.
Has Savannah Guthrie, has she had any threats to herself?
We've spoken to her. We'll continue to work with that. She has a security team that's been in touch with us throughout the night. But we're not going to dismiss any angles for sure. But right now, immediately, we don't know of anything like that.
Is she in town or on the way here?
She's here.
Can you give us any more? What should somebody be looking for? Because when I was out in the neighborhood, the neighbors are obviously incredibly concerned. But is there anything, a tip? I mean, one neighbor stopped me and he didn't know if he should call you or not.
Oh, my goodness.
But so what should somebody be looking for?
Well, first of all, I'd ask them, go through their cameras. Go through their Ring cameras, whatever cameras they may have. Don't dismiss it that, oh, well, we really can't see the house.
So the reality of the situation is that Nancy disappeared. Okay. They don't know where she's at. They have been looking in areas. Look, he does show us where they're looking at. Let me see if I can go directly to that. This is where he starts showing us the PowerPoint. They started looking at this last night, and it sounds like they had a press conference last night, but a lot of us probably didn't even catch it because it was late at night. So she gets reported missing sometime in the afternoon when they realized that she wasn't at church in the morning. I want to see the red part in this map. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller and blow this up a little bit more.
But that is our search patterns, I believe.
Yes. So with all the assets that we deployed yesterday with the search and rescue teams, the map that's on the screen is basically tracks that were followed. Those are all, the colored lines are all ground tracks of different teams and different assets that were used on the ground, to include the canines, the volunteers, and our own search and rescue team.
They've had canines, volunteers in like less than 24 hours. So they were looking in this area. Sounds like it's like a terrain kind of area, just to see if she would have been there. My question is, could she have been robbed? You know what I mean? Like somebody might have been waiting for her in the house already. Was anything missing? They're not really getting into the stuff about the home. Was there anything missing in the home? Any of that sorts that would have allowed anybody to, I don't know, just in general, anything missing? Was there a security system set up? Did she have a camera in the front door? She's got people coming and going, right? People that were helping her out. So I do wonder, I mean, these are all just questions that I have.
The circles are going to be representative, if not necessarily perfect, of our air circulation with both our helicopter and our fixed wing aircraft at night, working with the night time cameras. So difficult to see where the house is. This house is basically pretty close to center in that, and then all of the searching that went on throughout the day with those folks out there on the ground.
What this really helps with is our search teams, when they come back and reassess, maybe they've missed an area, we can look at it and say, hey, you know what, this area could use a little more coverage, and so they concentrate again. Our search and rescue team is top notch. They're out every single day. If it's not a lost person, it's a hiker, it's somebody who's wandered away from a care home, whatever it may be. I want to stress to you, right, and it is really important, Miss Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, is of great sound mind. This is not a dementia related. She is as sharp as a tack.
Okay.
The family wants everybody.
I want to put something out there too, because this is being reported, take it for what it's worth. This is in the New York Post, but it says that Nancy was last seen around 9:45 p.m. Saturday at her $1 million residence in the rural Catalina foothills area near Tucson, where officials say that they found a very concerning scene. I do wonder if the lady was robbed or something was going on. And some of the grandma's key personal items were reportedly left behind, including life-saving medication or medicine. I'm looking to see what other details. This is what the house looks like, so people are aware. All right, this is what the house looks like. That's a huge home, okay? For if she's living alone. There's the map. Okay, and that's mother and daughter, but it gives you guys an idea of what the home looks like, okay? Very limited mobility, could not walk 50 yards on her own. He refused to elaborate further on exactly why cops think a crime was committed. He didn't think the time was appropriate. So her stuff was left behind at the house. Keys, ID, purse, phone, everything. he told the outlet. So this wasn't even in the press conference. He told the outlet this. She also left the medication. This is not a situation where she voluntarily went away because she didn't take any of the things you would normally take if you voluntarily walked out. So gives you guys an idea. Nanos told reporter, "We believe now, after we process the crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene. That we do in fact have a crime scene, and we're asking for the community's help." So I'm just like, how much of the if you notice how rural that area is, and this has given me hate to put this out here, but it's so similar. It's like um we talked about this one too. The actor and the wife, why is this? Gene Hackman, thank you. Gene Hackman. When they were living alone in that property, they were by themselves. I'm like, what kind of security footage is going to actually catch anybody walking there? Because it's like these houses aren't like next door neighbors type of situation. Criminals have been breaking into celebrity homes a lot lately. I wonder if there was someone in the house and they weren't expecting her to come back home while they were there. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that too. Thank you, Amanda, for telling the people. Hit the like button, guys. No notifications went out. It does support the channel. It lets notifications. It lets people know that you guys are, here for the content and the reporting of this true crime story as well. So please support the channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. You said, but they said that she did not leave alone. Who said that? I don't know. I mean, it looks like that house is big for listen, to each his own. Some of y'all like big houses. I don't know how I feel about this. This is gives you an idea. She doesn't have next door neighbors that would hear anything going down. Does that make sense? She doesn't have, so to me, you're asking the neighbors for ring cam footage or security. They could very well have cameras there, but look at the vicinity. This isn't like my next door neighbor could hear everything that goes on. It kind of looks like Gene Hackman a little bit, where him and his wife, it was a very secluded area. I mean, it was a nice home, but they were kind of on their own. You said there's multiple cameras around in that home that big, and I would assume she had extra security precautions if she's elderly, living alone. But I do wonder, were they able to pull anything from the home in itself? Like, I would think that you would have a lot of security because of how big this house is, right? Like, for somebody living on their own. So I would hope that would be the case, but I don't know how much a ring camera is going to catch with that. I would want a lot of security, even if I wasn't living alone in a house like that. It's pretty big, It's not ginormous. Look at 3 to 4 bedrooms, mid-century pad. You don't think it's too big? I don't know. To me, it looks big. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just like, oh, it's such a big house. For her to live by herself. I guess this is the front entrance. Do we know? That's a great question. Was it a gated community? That's a great question. Let me see if I can pull any more pictures that are public. This is a really sad situation. This Savannah reports on true crime stories all the time. This would be like a worst nightmare situation where your family becomes part of one. Like, honestly, I wouldn't like that. Give me 1 second, guys. I wouldn't want to, have to be part of one. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Does she have any pets? Because they didn't say anything about the pets either. Were any pets left unattended? Did any of the pets look startled? Like, I'm just wondering about the pets as well. I'm trying to see if there's any other pictures. So far, we don't have any other pictures other than the New York Post. Okay. Let me see what else we can pull. No other information. I think the most important thing is that they find her, and See, and you have Reddit saying, because you can't really even discredit this either, that she might have been kidnapped. You can't really, I mean, we don't even know because they're not even saying that. They're just saying that she's missing. I wouldn't put it past anybody, you know? I mean, it happens a lot. But they're not calling it a kidnapping. They don't even know if they have they know they have a crime scene. They just don't know. Is it a crime scene because she's no longer here, or is it a crime scene because she was abducted or kidnapped? Why is it a crime scene? That's the question. That she didn't walk away out of her own accord. You said, well, in Mad Chatter, they might. They might. I don't want to assume that. It's like what Belen said. Houses like this, you would think that that they would, right? Because look at how big they are, you know, especially if they're living alone, like Belen said. But I don't know why they wouldn't have found anything. And they're asking for ring cam footage on the area. You said, Rabbit, I'm a cleaner and I often clean with clients not home. I wonder if it could have been someone providing service, or maybe a service worker saw something. Somebody saw something. People don't just go missing like that. Yeah. You know, sometimes I think they're looking at a crime scene. That's why maybe he spoke that way. You said this is the second true crime story to happen with an NBC Morning host, first with Tamron Hall. Oh, where she worked for the day's show. Announced. Oh, so Tamron Hall also had somebody in a situation like this happen to her too. I might have missed that one. You said she had cameras that were going through them. So they might have had cameras in the property, just not. They don't have anything yet. They didn't comment on the conditions of the house at all. They didn't say the house was, no. And it sounded like she had people coming and going in the house, so she was taking care of the property. Which that's where my mind goes because of the Gene Hackman situation, which we've talked about. I wonder if she was involved in any social groups other than church where someone could have started targeting her, following her. She had a very predictable route. It is very disturbing. I think that we can't underestimate things like this, right? Like, I agree. Anything is possible. Tamron Hall's sister was unalive during the time that during the NBC Today show. Then she ended up going to the other channel that does 21/7 true crime. Wow. I didn't know that about Tamron Hall. That's so sad. If a person is kidnapped from their home, the residence is considered a primary crime scene. That's right. So do they believe that she was kidnapped from the home and that is then considered a crime scene? Right? Let me see. She didn't take her walker. She didn't even say that. That's really sad, Gloria. It's really sad. I'm looking up on the comments just so I can include. I don't see anything new that's being reported. Let me look over here because I did see that Law and Crime did a report, but honestly, guys, like, all of this is just so concerning, man. It's like, yeah, they did. Did she walk out of there? What happened exactly? Oh, it's just a press conference out of that situation.
We saw some things at the home that were concerning to us.
It's just the press conference.
After we process that crime scene.
Let me see if there's anything else.
Crime scene that we do in fact have a crime.
Give me 1 second.
And we're asking the community's help. This community has always stepped up.
Hold up.
Started going off. You could hear it the moment he said, call him directly. We've been putting a number up that goes directly to the sheriff's department. I'm sure he's listed there locally as elected officials are for how you reach him. And that phone did not stop ringing. And he is really pleading with the public right now to trust the law enforcement who are doing their job.
Yeah, no
They're depending
dementia.
heavily on technology. And remember where Tucson is. It's not far. It's about 95 minutes from the border with Mexico. And so there is some resistance. I know from living down there. My husband was born down there.
How far away from the border did she say? They're not taking it to this route. I mean, I'm sure that they've consulted with border police as well over this, but okay.
There's resistance sometimes to a lot of that surveillance. And so what he's saying is he's pleading, come on, we need all your cameras, all this. And he said, you've helped solve tough crimes before. Let's do this one again together. Quote unquote, we do in fact have a crime. This was interesting.
Wow.
We have shut down our search and rescue assets. Not a search mission. It's more of a crime scene now. That came very late in this nearly 30-minute long news conference. A lot of questions at the
Literally.
end. She couldn't walk 50 yards.
He didn't really say that right off the bat. He literally waited later on to just kind of repeat that.
Something we learned about Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old mom of Today Show host, as you see on the left of your screen, Savannah Guthrie. And we did learn that Savannah Guthrie is in Tucson as they do this investigation. I want to bring in Randy Sutton, bring him back with me now, retired Las Vegas police lieutenant.
That would be a good question. They didn't say anything about a ransom note. They didn't want to get into that. They just said that they're looking at a crime scene. That would probably be my question. Was any notes left behind? Was any demand for anything left behind? I mean, that could very well be the question, right? My goodness, Shrinking Sharon, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Shout out to you, and thank you for supporting the channel, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, supporting and sharing, please, and thank you. Hype up the video. What an odd thing to say, right? Like, okay, let's keep going.
And Gianno Caldwell, Fox News political analyst. A couple of different perspectives to get from both of you. I'll go to you first, Randy Sutton, just on what you learned there. A lot of information.
Yeah, he was very clear that they discovered evidence at the scene that that required the homicide section to be involved in this. They did, in fact, say that this is a crime. Now, what crime could it be? Well, it could be either an abduction, which I think that they're really looking at as an abduction. Could there have been signs of violence there? That would be an indication from what he said that they found signs of violence. When he said that they found signs that she did not leave voluntarily, that tells me that they found signs of violence there. Now, the question is, what were those signs? Was it blood?
She did not leave voluntarily. Is that, he never said that. Hold up. I don't like making ish up. Let me see this shit. He doesn't even say that in the transcript. See, Fox News, this is why you get the rep that you get, because y'all be making up shit. He didn't even say that in the press conference. We don't know how she left. Okay, let's just be very real. We don't know. We don't. Could she have gone with somebody that she knew? Potentially. But to say she didn't leave voluntarily, we don't know if that was the case or it wasn't. Where did he get that from? Because I'm looking at the transcript and it's not there. It's not there. This is why, y'all, I can't with Fox News. I try. And literally, they always been doing some ish that it's like, y'all, it's too much. It's too much. This was 6 hours. So that was in the Today, which is the show that she works. And it's just like, you don't got to make up the news. Just say what it is, man. Say what it is. Say what happens. And it sucks because it's like they're the biggest network too, but sometimes you have to call them out on their stuff when they're making up things.
And we begin tonight with breaking news. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is looking for a missing woman tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Fink. Authorities say that missing woman is 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Miss Guthrie is the mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie. PCSD says Nancy Guthrie was last seen at her home in the foothills last night around 9:30 or 9:45 p.m. Now, according to the Sheriff's Department, Nancy Guthrie is 5 feet 5 inches tall. She weighs about 150 pounds. She has brown hair and blue eyes. She was last seen in the area of Skyline
The lady is very small. Let's just say that. Very small lady.
Drive and Country Club, and that is where Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos just held a news conference. Let's go out live. News 4 Tucson's Andrew Capasso with the very latest. Andrew, what can you tell us here?
Yeah, Eric, good evening to you. A lot of activity out here through the day near Campbell and Skyline is where we are. Search and rescue teams from several teams, including the Pima County Sheriff's Office and the Border Patrol have been here. Up the road here, the Pima County Homicide Team is also out here. They're looking at the house where Nancy Guthrie was. The 84-year-old.
You said, hold up. AI search. He just said homicide too. Hold up. He just said it. I caught that too. Give me 1 second. So the homicide team is there. Let's pull the transcript. Homicide. Yep. The Pima County homicide team is also here. He just said that.
Been here. Up the road here, the Pima County Homicide Team is also out here. They're looking at the house where Nancy Guthrie was. The 84-year-old, as you mentioned, Eric, not seen since last evening, about 20.
This was from February 1st. This was yesterday. So this is when all of this went down. Now, what I find interesting is that in the press conference, they didn't say anything about the homicide team or anything like that. We can transcript search that. He doesn't say any of that. But they had the homicide team there. So something in there is going on in terms of like, we're looking at a crime scene. That's what it is. Did they find blood? Did they find other items that would lead you to believe that the lady was attacked in here and then removed from the property and taken somewhere else?
24 hours ago now. I had a chance to talk with Pima County Sheriff Nanos just a few minutes ago. He says canines with the Border Patrol have been out here. They've been involved in the search, as have been helicopters in the air on and off for the past few hours. So this investigation right this second, really two parts, search and rescue team and the homicide team. I asked the sheriff specifically about the homicide team being part of this. He says there are things at that house that need to be looked at. Listen here.
What we're saying is there's some things there that are concerning to us, and we just don't want to miss anything. Search and rescue, their mission is we want to find you. We want to find you safe and sound and help you and get you there. That still continues. But we have an obligation to, when you look at things in this world of ours, you look at that and you go, is something wrong here? Is there something missing? We can't just dismiss that. I
need to correct myself too. I went to the actual press conference at about 5 minutes and 46 seconds. They do say, I have Sergeant David Stiver from homicide team. He's been up all night, so bear with us if we're a little bit fuzzy in our answering or responses. So they had the homicide person there at the press conference team, but I mean, I don't feel like they answered homicide related questions, but okay, let's keep going.
Stay on it. All right.
So he says, again, that's where that homicide team is at Nancy Guthrie's house. We're going to continue to follow that. More than 100 people involved in this search through the day, though the presence a bit calmer than it has been now. The sheriff says teams will regroup and pick things up in the daylight. But he says the teams have searched a lot of places out here today and still no sign of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. As for Savannah Guthrie, the sheriff says she is not in town, but the two have been in contact through the day. We are going to stay out here through this newscast. We'll be back in a little bit with an update, but that is the latest reporting live in the foothills. I'm Andrew Capasso, News 4 Tucson. Eric, for now, we will send it back to you. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, so if we go back right over here, here it is.
I apologize for that, but we do have a crime that we need to protect its integrity. I have here Sergeant David Stivers from our homicide team. He has been up all night, so bear with us if we are a little bit fuzzy in our answers and responses, but we're both here for any questions you may have. Let's start.
Chair, recognizing your limitations, but can you elaborate at all on what makes you believe it's a crime scene as opposed to someone who left home and just couldn't find their way back?
So if they're there, they might have assessed that, right, to determine if it's a crime scene homicide team. So no silver alert because she's presumed to have been deceased. That's a great question. I don't know, y'all. So we're going to keep an eye on this whole situation, of course. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much, Shrink and Sharing, for supporting the channel. Appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. I am going to have to let you guys go, but I'm going to keep an eye out and see if there's any more developments to this so we can stay on it. There's some other stuff that I was supposed to go live on today, and, you know, this kind of popped in, so we had to hurry up and get going with this. But I do have to wonder. What's going on, what's up, like the things leading up to, was she being watched? Sometimes we don't keep an eye out on our elderly very well, you know, especially if they're living alone. I think it's an important thing to kind of make a point to say. I will see you guys on the next one, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you guys have any information, make sure you report it, of course. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.